What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We finally got the knuckles back with the hubs and wheel bearings pressed in, as well as new lower ball joints. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these back in the car today, as well as swapping out my tie rods here. They don't have too much play, which is nice. I'm gonna swap those out. They're not even in bad condition, but I have new ones. And then I'm probably gonna take a look at doing the power steering delete too before that causes a fire in the engine bay. So let's get these knuckles put back on first and foremost though, so that the car can actually sit on the ground by itself. First things first, I'm gonna start with throwing on the new tie rods and get that sorted. I should probably measure them to see the length that I need them at first, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this one is looking like it's about between, right around like 10 inches, maybe just over, in between 10 and 10 and a half is where that guy sits, and that's what we're gonna go ahead and put the new one onto. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it. Okay, so the tie rods have too much play when they're not on the knuckle, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the knuckles back in, seat this in, and then it can't have that free motion, and then I'm gonna go ahead and break it loose from there. Because right now, even if you put the two wrenches on, it still can move anyway, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. You can't get too much torque on it. So, go ahead and throw these knuckles back in, and away we go. Boys, everything is on and tightened except for the axle nut, so I'm going to do that before I start assembling the brakes, and I'm going to need some help, so let's get this going. Okay, we got the axle nut on. It's kind of a bitch, but it's on. So now I'm going to go ahead and assemble the brakes. Okay boys, I believe I'm done. We got the ball joint up here tightened, although listen to this. It's a little blown out. We got the new tie rod on, cotter pin, new lower ball joint with the cotter pin, brakes reinstalled. They don't have the set screws, so it's kind of a floppy dangler, but is what it is. And of course the new wheel bearings, and everything goes smooth. On to the next side, not gonna film it because you just saw everything on here. So we're just gonna bust out that side, and then I might also take a closer look at my power steering and see if those fittings I bought literally a year ago actually work and fit. Because if not, I'm just gonna order the Dev Sport power steering loop. And yeah, let's go ahead and do the other side. I'll come back when all of the knuckle crap is finished. We can get the wheels back on the car, and we'll pick it up from there. What's going on, boys? We are all done. No wiggle side to side, really. No up and down. It's just the rotor that's loose because I don't have the set screws. But other than that, like, shit, like everything is tight. They spin freely. Like, everything is good. I'm pumped. I am so pumped. we are good to go with that. Now let's start trying to get the charcoal can intake and try to look at the power steering.
Hell yeah.
First we're gonna throw the wheels on. First we're just gonna throw the wheels back on just so we can get off the jacks and whatever. And yeah, freaking mint. We are gonna be fresh this year.
Fresh as a lettuce.
Yup. What are you making, Eli?
I'm making an EGR block-off plate. So I just use the gasket as a reference, cut it out, and then that's gonna go on the intake manifold and block that off. Right there.
Right in there.
Because if I don't just make that, I got that piece of metal for free, it would cost me like 30 or 40 bucks online. I'm like,
exactly.
no thanks.
So now we're slicing one up.
Slicing one up.
Hit it, dude. Now we're gonna go ahead and install our charcoal canister. Should be pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. It's just gonna be hard to get this one fitting on. So, charcoal canister is back in the car. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw the intake on, and then we're gonna actually dive into the power steering and take a look at that. But charcoal canister went back in flawlessly. This whole engine bay needs a detail and a clean. Let's go ahead and get that intake on, and let's start taking a peek at that power steering stuff. Okay boys, so as you can see in there, if you can, that little fitting right there is out. Now I'm going to sift through my fittings and see if any of those fit in, and if I find one, then I'm going to move on to the small one. If I can't find one for the big one, then we already know it's not going to work. So try that first, go through my fittings and see what works here. Definitely not that one. Free Shabaka, dude. Okay, I got one that fits the big one. Perfect, we got one that fits the big one.
Hell yeah.
Now to finish taking off the small one. Now I'm trying to find one that fits the smaller size. A little bit worried because this is what we ran into the issue of last time. Okay, so yeah, it's not that one. So let's try and open them up, see what we got. I really hope one fits. I spent like $60 on shit for this. Nope. One last fitting. God damn it. Last fitting. Attempt.
Fingers crossed, dude.
You son of a bitch.
No?
It fits in the threads, but it's a different thread pitch. It gets tight instantly. What?
Really?
Oh yeah. See how the threads are so thin and then this one gets thick? So it's the right size, the wrong fucking thread pitch. This is our shitty power steering delete. It didn't work. My fitting I bought was the right size but different thread pitch. These are way finer. So what I'm gonna do is snip this off there and snip this off there. Kind of just throw a ghetto one back on, but I am gonna order the DevSport power steering delete because, well, we need something there. But this is our ghetto-ness, so. Okay, so I got my new power hardline cutter, so I'm gonna just snip these with that, and here we go. This is my power steering delete until my kit comes in. Now I'm gonna join both of these with a hose, even though they're different size, and call it a day. There we go.
Very good, very
That's
nice.
a bet. Look at that. That's a better power steering delete, right?
That, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's pretty
Right?
freaking
I might
great.
not even need to order one, dude.
Yeah, do you just want to sell those online?
No,
Dude, new business.
Start up an Etsy, but
Etsy for cars?
I know, dude. get all the moms their fresh power steering deletes for their soccer practice.
They need them, dude.
Made this fresh power steering delete. Now we're gonna go ahead and install it, and I'm probably still gonna order Dev Sport because this thing is ghetto as hell, but guess what? It's gonna work for now. How's it fit?
Perfect. We throw the gasket on here. Yeah, so this, now we just throw the bolts on top. It'll block off the EGR, and we're chilling. Chilling.
So we had to shorten it just a bit so the hose wasn't rubbing up against anything that will rip through the hose. Try not to blind you boys. This is what we got. So because the reason we did it before was just to get it down to this shot, but this was so long that it was rubbing against the block, and power steering fluid is known to like to ignite when it burns through a hose and starts spewing on hot surfaces. And the last thing we want is for this car to burn to the ground. So I am gonna order a proper kit, but for now, at least this will make it not touch anything that will melt the hose. Unlike our last job. Okay everybody, so lots has been done on the Civic. We got the intake on, we got the charcoal canister on, we made a power steering delete that actually works until we order a Dev Sport 1. We got both driver and passenger side hubs, wheel bearings, wheel hubs, new tie rod, and lower ball joint all installed. I didn't do anything with the upper control arm because I'm still getting the True Heart front and rear camber kit, which comes with ball joints and the anchors and everything like that. But everything, like, can't move it up and down. Like, it is solid. It's gonna drive like a dream this year. Calipers weren't compressed that much at all. Everything still spins freely, no noise to be made. We got the brake pads in with the clips, which I usually, to be honest, skip. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the wheels back on here now until the new wheels show up in about 2 weeks or so, which is gonna be insane. Just wait for that. I already got the rubbers. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw these wheels on, get this thing back on the ground, pushed in the corner, and it is ready to run minus a fluid change for this year. Stoked. And a Honda. I figured it out. I'm getting a Honda, 2-step, tune, gonna be sick. Okay boys, there it is. The front end of the car is all put back together. The wheels are on, check this out. They don't wiggle at all, there's no wiggle room. They're sitting mint. The fitment, or not the fitment, the alignment is definitely gonna be off. I can already see this one's towed in while this one's towed out, so that's cool. We're definitely gonna throw this thing on an alignment rack and just get her mint. Power steering delete loop down there is done. It's hard for you guys to see, and then intake and charcoal canner on. Without further ado, boys, I'm gonna put this rig back on the ground and we're out of here for today's video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Peace out. Love you guys.